Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or as I always say, welcome to Lone Pine Tarot for the very first time if you're brand new here. For those of you that are familiar with my channel, of course, as you know, this week we are celebrating summer within our community, aka our Mystic Midsummer Marathon, where we have a tarot reading every single day of this week from the 16th of June to the 20th of June. And today is day 3 of Mystic Midsummer. Of course, as you can tell by the title you just clicked on, we're continuing with the theme of light to celebrate the season, aka what part of yourself should you let shine more? So without further ado, let us pick our pile leaders to choose the piles for our messages to answer that exact question. So calling on Spirit, please guide us to the right pile leaders for our community for piles 1, 2, 3. Thank you. All right, there's pile number 1. Pile number 2. And let's see, pile number 3, right there. Unveiling the cards right now. So for pile number 1 on the left, your pile leader today is number 9, Chickweed. For pile number 2 here in the middle, your pile leader to choose with is number 36, Ragwort. There we go. And last but not least, for pile number 3 here on the right, your pile leader to choose your pile with is number 44, Bramble. There we go. So quick refresher, pile 1, Chickweed, pile 2 is Ragwort, and pile 3 is Bramble. But as I always say, you're welcome to pause right now on this part of the video if you need more time to decide. If you're new to pick a card readings and you're not sure how to pick a card, I like to guide us through what I call a meditative moment. So close your eyes, take in a deep cleansing breath, and as you do, imagine drawing light into your lungs, then hold it for just a few moments. And then when you breathe back out again and open your eyes, where are they drawn most first out of these 3 different cards? What feels right in your gut? I always say follow your intuition, and that is the pile I recommend you choose. But whatever your method, you can even just pick by what looks the coolest. That works perfectly fine as well. Drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment beneath the video. Find the timestamp for your pile, and I'll see you in our chat about what part of yourself does Spirit think you should let shine into the world more. See you there. Hello there, pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about what part of yourself you should let shine into the world more. And as you recall, you were drawn to the very beautiful Chickweed as your pile leader today. Now, as I was looking at your card before I even hit the record button, I like to meditate on the pile leaders a little bit sometimes. What most prominently came out for you intuitively from Spirit was that there are certain hopes and or wishes and dreams of yours that they want you to share more with the world, specifically because this card in the deck that it comes from is all about, it's like a plant that comes out very early. It's a plant that I believe it's like maybe blooms around, I think, like January, very late winter. It's one of the first things to bloom in the year. And so it's like, I think you get ideas, really good ones, very early on, but there's almost kind of a wallflower part of you, I'm hearing, that holds yourself back from sharing those really good wishes and dreams and ideas, etc. And I think sometimes you lose out on either like the credit for things because of that. Like, have you ever been in a meeting or like a group project with people and you have a really good idea, pile number 1, and you're like so eager to say it, but other people just keep talking over you and other people just keep sharing their own things, and then either you kind of say your idea quietly or like you don't say it at all, and then someone else comes out because you've just never had any room to budge in to say anything, right? And they say the exact idea that you had, and then everybody's like, oh, that's the best thing ever, and it's like, excuse me, like you feel like you kind of miss out on that credit sometimes. So that's why Spirit was telling me, like, pile 1, you know, like I said, we're going to see other things from the other cards. Like, we're just literally on the pile leader so far, just one card, right? But very prominently that was coming forward for you when I was looking at the card initially before recording, and I was like, Spirit's like, they need to share their ideas more. So if there's one thing already, it's to be more vocal about your really good ideas, okay? Because just like the chickweed, blooming early in the year, it's like you are really good at blooming ideas early. It's just that you might not be as quick to the draw as other people are when it comes to sharing them. So sometimes you might even feel, pile number one, excuse me if my voice is a bit scratchy today. Sometimes you might even feel like you don't have good ideas because it feels like nobody ever celebrates them. You're just like, oh man, well, I don't know if I should share. And then it comes like the self-fulfilling prophecy of feeling like you shouldn't share, so you don't. But then at the same time, then you get the confirmation that it was a good idea because then someone else says it, and it's just, other people think it's just like the greatest thing since sliced bread. But then you feel like that, not resentment necessarily, but maybe a little bit of a disappointment of like, oh, I missed out. Like, I really wish that I would have gotten that credit, or like I had said that thing. And so like, if you find that you do that a lot, pile one, that's Spirit saying, at least that's one thing you should shine about yourself more, is your ideas and your dreams and your hopes early. Okay, because you get them early, but you need to say them more early too with other people. Okay, so that also kind of expresses pile one, someone that has a very quick mind. I think you are intelligent, because I don't know if it's analytical is another word that keeps popping up for you. I wonder if maybe you are really, really like a deep thinker. Like you tend to stuttering a bit. You tend to think quite deeply. And maybe that's another reason why you're kind of slow to the draw to saying your ideas, because you get so entrenched in thinking that it's like there's not as much saying. And so, I don't know, they want you to feel more celebrated. They want more people to recognize your ideas, pile one. That's why they're saying that. So let's look at some of your other decks too. We're actually going to start with Oracle cards today for this reading. We have some archetype decks to tell us more about what they want you to shine out. I'm feeling drawn to this one. We have Companion. Light attributes, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. And shadow attributes, betrayed by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. Okay, so what they're saying with this card, pile one, too, is they also want you to shine out more of yourself when it comes to connecting to other people. I wonder if a lot of you tend to be quite introverted, which, hello, I totally understand. I'm just the same, very shy myself. But at the same time, it's like there's a lot in you that would be so beneficial for others to experience and to connect with that they're missing out on by you being so shy and not connecting with people a little bit more, okay? And two, like it says, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. So, in that, specifically what Spirit is saying is they want you to shine out more. I'm hearing you're one of those rare people who actually make people believe in the value of friendship. Because I know nowadays, and this is unfortunate, maybe it's always been this way, and we paint the past with nostalgia goggles, right? But especially nowadays, like I always hear people saying, man, it's so hard to find really nice, good people, loyal people. And so pile one, it's like Spirit saying you're one of those really loyal, nice people. And so part of the reason why they want you to connect with other people more, especially as like in a companion way, which, that can be expressed both platonically and romantically, like, say a long-term relationship. And if you are already in one, right, keep doing that. Connect even heavier, even more closer to your partner, right? Same thing too, though, but like platonically, like your best friends or even more people. You're the type of person that makes people believe in the magic of deep connection and companionship again, especially in our modern world where we feel, at least a lot of us I've heard and, personally experienced too, a feeling of a lack of deep connection, okay? So please, 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 shine that out more. Also, your with tenacity, it's like I think you there's a part of you that shows an example to others in terms of your willingness to seek after your goals. So, and what kind of makes me think you're like kind of a beacon. You're like a beacon type of person that shows by example that other people would look to you and say, oh, well, pile one is doing that, you know, now I feel inspired to do that thing myself. And then we also have, like I said, the term or unselfishness. Like, you're a very rare, caring person, and they want you to shine that out as well more. Okay, so we'll put the companion over here. And then I do have the Citadel Oracle. Let me draw 2 cards from this particular deck for you, pile one. Anything else you want to say, Spirit? What else do you want them to shine out more, please? Thank you. Okay. A lot of cards were just about ready to flip out, but not quite. This one looked like it was ready, so I'm going to take one from that area. And then I'm also feeling drawn to this card here, and then we will do a few tarot spreads after this. But the first Citadel is the Astronomer with the element of air, augury, and discovery. Okay, remember I was saying I feel like you're a really intelligent sort, pile one? You almost kind of feel scientific-minded to me. I almost wonder if a lot of you are in STEM related fields for your job, or even if you're not in that for necessarily a career. I feel like you've always been kind of drawn to the mysteries of the universe. That's what I always think of when I hear like an astronomer. Like, yes, you think of like the technical aspects of someone that's into that stuff, like, you know, they know different qualities of different kinds of stars and planets and nebulae and galaxies, etc., like the hard facts. But underneath, really what it says is it's a deep thirst for understanding the nature and the mystery of the universe. Okay, so you're someone who I think should shine out more, that thirst that you have for the unknown. Okay, I think that's maybe another way that you could connect with people more. I don't know if there's some way that you could connect with people that are like-minded in terms of wanting to understand the universe more. And you can think of that in a scientific way, so like literally like an amateur astronomy club would be perfect if you literally want to do astronomy, or it could be in a spiritual way as well, like getting together with people, you know, either in person or online, it works too, in terms of understanding the universe from that spiritual perspective. But in any case, it's like, I think that's where your intelligence shines the most, pile one, is this thirst for knowing what is unknown. Okay. Very beautiful. And then two, being the air sign, you know, we always think of air symbolism with, especially astrology, as the signs that are very, you know, like quick-witted, or they're communicative, or they're intelligent, right? And, you know, it's funny because sometimes with air signs, like personally, I'm a Gemini, and they always say, oh, Gemini are so chatty. Gemini are so outgoing. But like me personally, as a Sun Gemini, I am not like that outgoing, and I'm more of a shy person, but I do have the other traits of Gemini. So even if you don't recognize necessarily like in your face air sign traits, I think you might have a lot of air sign placements in your chart anyways. Pile number one. Okay. So that's another way that you should shine yourself out more, is work more with the element of air in your life with, you know, yes, connecting with each other and other people more. We already talked about that. But also expressing your intelligence more in the things that are really, you know, you're passionate about. You know, and sometimes people will be a little bit hesitant for that because they'll be like, oh, I don't know, like, what if I share my passion and people just think it's dumb? Or, you know, people just think, oh, this is, you know, stupid or boring. Or like boring is a really key word that's coming out forward right now. I think maybe you think that you're boring or something, and maybe that's why you're so quiet, because you're like, you know, I don't really think anyone's going to enjoy what I have to say. But what Spirit is saying is, no, pile one, people would love to hear what you have to say, of course, you know. And I think too, because of the combination of your unselfishness that we talked about with the companion card plus your intelligence, I think you don't give yourself enough credit for the way that you convey yourself. Maybe you think you're boring, but when people actually might think you're a lot more interesting than you perceive yourself to be. Okay, so that's another thing too, is I think shining yourself out more in terms of the way that you stimulate other people's imaginations and brains in terms of thinking deeply about things, okay? You're like, you almost kind of, the image that was coming to mind, and I can't remember who made that particular statue, but it's the statue of the thinker. It's the man that's sitting down and he's got like his hand underneath his chin and he's really just like deeply thinking about something. That archetype is just, that's how I perceive you, at least as a tarot reader, pile one, okay? So we have Astronomer, and then we have, look at that, the Wise One. Okay, yeah, so definitely very intelligent. You need to express your intelligence more. Pile one, I think you hide it a little bit too much away, maybe because you're afraid, like I said, once again, of coming off as like, or maybe it's also too, maybe you fear like coming off as a know-it-all, but I think, excuse me, because you have that unselfishness trait here with Companion, it's like, you fear a little bit too much. I don't know why you're so afraid to shine that out more. I think it is, yeah, it's like a know-it-all thing, or it's like you fear people are going to think you're like dull, but you're not in any way. Because you're like, on top of that, pile one is like the things that you're interested in are also very interesting to a lot of people that I feel like there's a lot of people I'm hearing intuitively around you that would be interested in very similar things, but it's just that no one has ever brought it up before, so you just think that you're the only one, and like they think they're the only one, so everyone's just kind of like in their own little chamber, in their own little silo, thinking, oh, like, no one's interested in this. But like, if you connected with other people more around you, that would shine out more, and you would kind of find birds of a feather, right? And then, yes, wise one, we have the element of fire. So a little bit of fire, so you might have some fire sign placements within your chart as well. And of course, we think of, fire signs as being fiery, literally, excuse the pun, passionate. We think of them as ambitious sometimes, maybe a little bit hot-tempered too on the other side, right? But, and we have tradition and order. So yes, I mean, and, I think they've kind of ruled out the idea of being right brain versus left brain, but if I had to still use that dichotomy, pile one, you definitely feel like more of a left brain type of person. Although I think you're well-rounded and well-faceted in that you know how to connect both hemispheres. Like, you're really good about right brain stuff and left brain, but you definitely come off to me as like, especially because of the astronomer and everything else popping out, and the wise one, you're more like order too, like you're orderly. Everything's logical. So please shine out your logical self more to other people. Maybe that's another way that you could shine out more of your unselfishness is helping people think through things logically. Of course, if they ask for help, right, but, and then tradition too. I wonder if you're also interested in a lot of things that are more old-fashioned or like more traditional, like either about cultures, or it's like, I don't know, are some of you into antiquing and stuff like that too? I wonder. That's something that's coming out a little bit more prominently here. So I wonder, yeah, definitely shine that out more if so, though. Share your passions more is what I'm hearing, especially when it comes to the left brain of stuff that you do, or left brain sided kind of oriented things. Let's do your tarot spread here, pile one, because we're going to see even more details about what else you should shine more. Okay, so let's cut the deck here. I'm going to partially, just because of the space I have, I'm going to cut it off screen down here, but you will see me drawing the cards here. And then I need two more. So 1, 2, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay. Let's see your tarot spread here, pile one. We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so it's interesting because this isn't like a very traditional depiction of the Queen of Pentacles, but what I really like about this one, especially for your case, pile one, is that she's teaching people something. She's teaching these people how to rock climb. Right? She's like, okay, this is how you fasten your harness. This is how you make sure that you're being safe. And that does echo the Queen of Pentacles' energy of security, okay? Here's how you stay safe. So I think that's where your logical brain comes in with other people. Like, it's like you sharing more of like telling other people how to be safe or how to be, like smart about things would help improve areas where other people are not being safe enough. So like I wonder too if like maybe some of you might even have a job where you work with security or safety in some way. And maybe that's why that popped up. Or if you don't, and you're looking maybe for like career advice, that would be like a really, really good place for you to be, because there's something about, security and safety. So shining out more about, like how others can like protect themselves more, maybe even telling about like your own experiences to other people about like times that you had to protect yourself or that like you had to be like safer. There's something there about you being kind of you give me like sage vibes too, like a wise sage, especially because of the wise one that you got, but yeah. And then the Ace of Wands reversed. Okay. So that tells me also to pile 1, part of your journey here on Earth that Spirit wants you to shine out more is to inspire others more. Now, we already talked about that quite a lot with your first cards. And remember, we talked about it in terms of you inspiring other people more in terms of like, you know, logical brain things, right? More like scientific related things, as well as, inspiring them more with like ideas that you have faster. But I think too, you're kind of a fire starter in other people when it comes to especially your communication. Like I said, don't think that you're boring, because I think you might inspire more people than you expect if you do open up more, okay? Because that's what an Ace of Wands represents in this reading, is like you're someone that helps when someone does not have a spark, you're the one that helps spark them back alive with enthusiasm is a really good word to use, okay? Then we've got, look, you know, it's funny. I talked about how much air energy we're giving off, but now you have a lot of earth energy too. Now we've got a King of Pentacles. Sensibility when it comes to finances and career. Okay, a King of Pentacles is someone who is very good when it comes to money and finances and job-related things and responsibility and dependability, okay? So shine out some of those qualities more as well if you don't already do so. People really would enjoy that about you. I think that's kind of where that security thing comes in, because you also had the Queen of Pentacles pop out earlier, where it's like you're a really good person to go to for advice on these things. So if people ask for your advice on these things, please share it more with them, as well as it might even be a really good idea for you, pile 1, to, I don't know if you have any interest in teaching or writing anything instructive or like nonfiction, but if you do, that would be a really good area to look in, is all of your knowledge regarding like career and finances and security related things, okay? And then we've got the 3 of Swords, which is, so this is one of those decks where sometimes the depiction doesn't always quite match what we see, or what the card means. So the 3 of Swords traditionally means pain of some sort. So I almost wonder too if you're a bit of a healer. There's something too about you that's very healing. And we see here specifically, it's like these 3 women are kind of laughing. So I wonder if it's your sense of humor, too. Let's look at the last card. 6 of Wands reversed. Yeah, like people walking through, like, rain. Like, they're... Especially because the 6 of Wands reversed is often about, like, feeling like a lack of victory or, like, a lack of pride in something. You really, really brighten people's day. I'm getting that sense from the last 2 cards. Or if you did share more of yourself, if you were a little bit less shy and connected with other people more, pile 1... that's precisely where Spirit wants you to shine yourself more, you know, going back to the title of the reading, okay? So share your humor more. Share more about when you see people upset or down, especially when people are really down on their luck when it comes to, like, the 6 of Wands being, like, someone has, a victory has eluded them, okay? I think... I don't know, it's like you inspire people to look up again. You inspire people to chin up again after they felt pain of some sort. You're a healer, but not necessarily in the physical way. You're a healer of the mind, is what I'm hearing. And that's what they want, you know, more of. That's what their spirit is saying. Like, please, pile 1, heal more minds, okay? Especially through your wit and your humor. And especially through, like, when people have, like, really, really hard days. It's like you get that fire sparking again. Like that Ace of Wands reversed. You make them feel secure again and make them feel like their load is lighter, like their burden has been lightened, at least like mentally, especially with the mind. You're almost like a doctor of the mind is what I'm hearing. That's another thing I that's coming out quite prominently here. So, yeah. What a beautiful spread here, pile number 1. Okay. So that is what Spirit is saying. They want you to shine out more. I hope you liked the reading. I hope that it resonated with you. Of course, most of all, I hope that it helped you. Okay. I hope it inspired you to share more of these aspects of yourself with the world and especially other people around you, which was quite the prominent theme in your reading. If it did help you and you liked it, please like the video itself. Please comment down below your story. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide readings for both you and others in the future for free. And the hope of my channel of providing spiritual healing to people around the world, keeping that dream alive. And as is our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, Pile 1. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about what part of yourself you should let shine into the world more. And of course, as you can recall, you were drawn to the beautiful Ragwort card as your pile leader. So as I was looking at this card before even hitting the record button, sometimes I like to meditate on the pile leaders a little bit. What was really coming forward intuitively, quite prominently is the word I want to use, is Spirit was telling me you have skills that I think you've recently, or maybe even throughout your life, have been trying to show other people, and it kind of feels like maybe sometimes that your skills are like either underappreciated or like under-recognized. And they were saying that a lot of the reason why it feels like they're under-recognized is because it's often a question of the place or the people that you're trying to show these skills to. It's kind of like growing a really healthy desert plant in a rainforest. And it's like, yes, this is an amazing thing that you managed to do, but it might not be noticed or appreciated in this particular place, okay? And I know that sounds like it's unrelated to the topic, but just hear me out. Because they were saying that the part of yourself they want you to shine out more, at least the first thing we'll talk about, because we have plenty of other cards to see too, but is that they want you to show these skills that you feel like have been neglected or ignored, that maybe you've been kind of just hiding away, or you feel a little bit less confident about showing, just because of prior feelings of rejection with these passions or these skills. Try showing them in a different area or to different people, okay? And that will help you shine out these skills and share them with the world more. There's something along those lines. Maybe when we look at the other cards, we'll see more about like what specific skills those might be. But whatever, just ask yourself, pile 2, what have I tried to show other people that got rejected? And that's your answer as to what Spirit is talking about with this, okay? And then let's see. I also heard something about you not being afraid to wander a little bit, you not being afraid to try like a less traveled path. You might already recognize this about yourself, but really what it speaks of, pile 2, is like a tenacity that you have, a strength that you have. Resilience is another really good keyword I'm hearing coming out as I'm speaking, where it's like you shining and showing out to more, like to others, your ability to take the rougher, less traveled road. I don't know if you have either been tempted by, or already, maybe this is your lifestyle, not to really subscribe to one particular career path or one particular hobby. You kind of feel like a jack of all trades type of person. And maybe sometimes you felt kind of insecure about that, pile 2, but what Spirit's telling me is actually that's a really good thing that you should keep investing in. Keep being that jack of all trades. Keep wandering, right? The quote I hear prominently, and maybe because, you know, I like fantasy, right, is "Not all who wander are lost." That was by Tolkien, right? And that's a perfect quote to encapsulate like what Spirit is talking about with you, okay? So don't be afraid to shine that out more. Of your wandering, of your free spirit is another really good phrase coming out. Of your ability to walk that less traveled path. Be confident in that. Because there's a lot of people that are, I bet you they envy you, pile number 2. A lot of people just walk the very easy beaten path because they think, well, that's the most quote unquote sensible way to live life and go through life. But really, they envy your confidence and your ability to walk the less traveled path. So shine that out more, because we need, it's like Spirit is saying, is like we need more people like you to show that example to others so that others are less afraid to try the same things. Okay, so right off the bat, just with your pile leader, that's what I was hearing. But of course, we do have other cards to draw for you. I want to draw the Oracle cards first today, actually. A little bit of a switcheroo in terms of my order. So, Spirit, anything else that you want pile 2 to shine out more? What else do you want them to show the world? Okay, this one says pick me. So we'll choose that one. We have the archetype of the femme fatale. Okay, light attributes highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Shadow attributes, inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money, and power. Okay, so even if some of you watching this are men, right? We all have feminine and masculine energy. I know specifically this is a feminine archetype, right? So, depending on your gender, translate this to your gender, okay, things like that. But femme fatale, as we all know, is someone who is, well, like it says, highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when dependency is rejected. Okay, so I get the sense that, and I'm hearing that maybe some of you will kind of shy away from this when I say it. You might be like, oh, that's weird. Or like, oh, that doesn't sound like me. But there's a part of you that does have a charisma. That has a, what's the word I want to use? Magnetism. That's the word I want to use. Magnetism. A charisma and a magnetism that draws people. And I think part of it is that free spirit energy that we talked about with the Ragwort card. And Spirit wants you to shine that out even more. 2, also, more about expressing your sensuality. Okay. Which doesn't always necessarily mean, like, sexiness, right? But it's like I don't want to say, like, some of you are, like, uncomfortable with being more sensual or, like, dressing more sensually. But I don't know, maybe I do want to say that. I feel like some of you might kind of hear that and go, oh, I don't know about that. Like, some of you might feel more... Okay, the reason why I'm saying this too and why Spirit is saying this is because they're saying it's like that old saying of like, if you've got it, flaunt it, right? There's parts of you that you've got, that you're not flaunting. And I don't mean that just in the physical way, Pile, too. I mean that in every single way. There's something about your personality too that I think, I just want to use the word magnetism again. And I think you dim it a bit because you believe that you... Like, it might have been your upbringing a little bit. Like, maybe your upbringing was to be very, very quiet and very, very modest, which, it's okay to be modest, too. Like, it's all about preferences and things. And this card isn't necessarily saying, like, go out there and be, like, super wild, okay? Like, but at the same time, I think some of you are a little bit more reserved than you really could be, okay? So it's not necessarily a message of let loose a bit more, but it might be a message of... lean into that magnetism that you have deep down more with other people, okay? So, some of you might, like I said, some of you I'm feeling are like, would be instantly like, oh, I don't know about that. Like, I don't feel like I have any sensuality. Like, what are you talking about, Lone Pine Tarot? But, like, there's something there about that. They want you to lean in more. So, explore more about, like, one activity that I'm hearing is explore more about, like, clothing that you feel beautiful in or you feel handsome in, whatever term you like to use. There's something about that you should invest in a little bit more. What do you feel beautiful in? Okay. That's one activity they're saying, to maybe think about. Or, maybe if resources are available, buy something you feel really attractive in and wear it. Even if it's just to go to the grocery store or something. Just try it. Okay. All right. Let's see what else they want to say about your shining out more. What should you express more to the world? Okay. We have the founder with the element of fire, foundations, and community. Okay, so we have a little bit of a leadership thing here, too. Look at that, pile number 2. Remember I was saying, like, I feel like you're kind of like your independence and your ability to walk the off-beaten path. That's a bit of a leadership quality, too. I didn't mention that keyword, but that is part of it. Okay. So foundations, community, also building a community too, because not only do we see a sword here, like defending a city, but we see the other creature, it almost looks like a mouse, holding a hammer, which is like building things. Okay, so building things, I don't know. I mean, sometimes Spirit literally says things literally. So for an example, it might be something as in, I don't know, maybe some of you are into like woodworking or like crafting of some sort, building things with your hands, in which case you should showcase that more. And I think some of you I'm even hearing, especially those of you that are into woodworking, there's something about building a business out of it. Like you need to share it more with other people. Okay. Let's draw the second card here. I'm just still blabbing about the first one. I didn't even draw the second one yet. Let's look at this one. We have the tailor. Look at that, attention to detail and pride. Yeah, so once again, we have clothes brought up again. Like we talked about the femme fatale. I wonder if maybe even some of you, for those of you that are comfortable with the way that you dress, or like you already have explored what makes you feel really attractive when it comes to clothing, they're saying shine that out even more when it comes to your dress, okay? For those of you that, like I said, might have gotten that kind of like, oh, what is Lone Pine talking about when I talked about the femme fatale energy, you know, that's just another hint from Spirit with this card that you need to invest in that more. You need to lean into more about what you feel beautiful or handsome in when it comes to your clothing, okay, or your dress in general, okay? Maybe even something about, I don't know. I'm hearing something about a haircut. I don't know if any of you got recently a haircut while you're watching this, in which case, I guess Spirit is approving of the haircut. So I know that sounds kind of weird to mention as a tarot reader, but there's something about a haircut too. So they're saying that haircut is good for more of shining this energy out. Okay. And then, yeah, the tailor is the element of water. And then we have attention to detail and pride. So that's another thing, too, is I think, you know, especially for those of you that, you know, do the woodworking and might be interested in making it into a business, I think one of the reasons why they're saying that would be really good for you is because you do have that attention to detail and pride. But, you know, that can extend to more than just woodworking, pile number 2. That can extend to, you know, maybe some of you do like yarn or fabric work. Okay, maybe you even do tailoring or sewing, seamstressing, things like that, in which case that's another thing you should really shine out more. To fashion, that's another thing I haven't even mentioned yet, like fashion would be a really fantastic thing for you to shine out more about your fashion sense, not even just in the way that you dress yourself, like we said here with Femme Fatale, but too, like maybe, you know, if some of you are thinking about a career change or a career choice, maybe fashion actually would be a really good choice for you. Or something to do with beauty or the way that people appear, okay? Like makeup art or, what do they call that when people work in, like, movies? Like movie makeup, I guess is, I don't know if that's, like, the official term for it, but something along those lines, okay? And two, like, imbuing that with the off-beaten path or off-the-beaten-path type of energy. Very avant-garde, very different, but in that way, though, it's because one of your life lessons or purposes, pile number 2, is to inspire other people to follow these things, okay? To inspire other people to not walk that same beaten path, to inspire other people to, I think you might even be really good about giving advice to other people when it comes to these things, too. Some of you might already work in these industries, but if you don't, I think you might be really good at it if you haven't already tried that, okay? So let's grab your tarot cards. Let's get a tarot spread going and ask, like, the other qualities they want you to shine out more. Okay, Spirit, anything else you want to say about what they should shine out? Okay, we'll split the deck here, and I have some of the piles off screen down to the bottom just because of my limited room. Okay, and then we'll do 2 more cuts. There we go. Okay, so the first tarot card is the Page of Swords reversed. Okay, so a Page of Swords reversed in this particular reading, I would read as you're someone that's meant to show more regarding how you explore things in a mental or communicative way, because swords in tarot is the air suit. So we think of intelligence and communication and logical thinking. And specifically what they're doing in the card is, oh, it's a snowball fight. How cute. And once again, I'm really drawn to the way that they're all very differently dressed. There's something about clothing with you. I don't know what it is. Feel free to chime down in the comments down below. There's something about clothing you need to do more and shine out more with. But in general, though, yeah. And like a Page of Swords is Also can be someone that's like a very good student, especially when it comes to logical pursuits or like very, sometimes it can be like justice oriented things too. I associate the sword suit with like legal related things. So maybe like, like lawyer related stuff or paralegal, as some potential careers that some of you might be really drawn to. But at the same time too, it speaks of you showing, I don't know, it's like you need to communicate more these things that you're passionate about, these things that you're really good at. Like you need to, I mean, we talked about that a little bit with the pile leader where we said there's skills that you have that were rejected before, or things about you that were rejected before, but it was more really like a matter of where you were presenting it rather than it being an inherently like true rejection. Okay, so it's like you need to communicate. I don't know if you've always just had a hard time finding your tribe or finding birds of a feather for you, pile number 2. And so that's one way you could shine more, is finding more people that click with you so you can show more of these aspects of yourself. Okay, and then that too will also inspire more confidence, because sometimes when we feel like we've had certain parts of ourselves rejected by society or certain groups of people, we can internalize that and think that, oh, we're inherently bad in that way, or that inherently is not a good thing. But then it's not really a question of those parts of ourselves being bad. It's really more a question of it just wasn't the right audience. There you go. That's the perfect word I want to use. It wasn't the right audience. Okay, so find the right audience when it comes to the things that you're passionate about or that you want to speak about. Okay, and that will also help you shine more. Then we have the 9 of Cups reversed. Interesting. And I think that's paddleboarding technically. And they're by the coast. There's some seals. Almost like a sisters or like a mother and daughter. And the 9 of Cups reversed in a traditional reading would mean something to do with... sometimes I read it as a lack of pride, or sometimes I read it as a lack of having attained your wishes or dreams. So I wonder... or emotional satisfaction. I think there might be something about what you do in your day-to-day life that doesn't necessarily align with what you're really passionate about, pile number 2. And so another way you could shine out more is aligning more about your actions with your actual passions deep down. Of course, it's easier said than done. Like, say, if it's like a career change, like that's a really big thing. So obviously, like, that requires a little bit more deep thought than just one tarot reading. But at the same time, it's like if you were to parallel more of your actions and your choices in life with your thoughts and your passions, then like that would make you shine all the brighter as well. Like it's something important to your life purpose, I'm hearing. Then we have the 2 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so bringing more balance to things. Interesting. I think that could manifest itself in the way that we talked about with you being really good with like fashion or clothing or things like that. Like bringing more balance in an artistic and kind of visual way. But it could also mean balance in terms of you being like a really good balancing voice within groups of people. Let's look at the other 2 cards before I say too much more on that, because I'm curious if they'll give more context. We have the Queen of Cups, following your heart. What did I tell you, pile number 2? Keep walking off the beaten path. You're on the right road. Okay. A Queen of Cups follows her heart. She does not care about what other people are doing or what other people think about her. Okay. She knows what she feels deep down and she follows it like a compass. Okay. Keep doing that. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Okay. And in a reading like this, it's something that you need to shine more in terms of... Well, a Knight of Pentacles can mean, like, some terms associated are, like, reliability. Slow and steady wins the race. I wonder if maybe... Here, one moment, pile number 2. Especially, too, because you had a 2 of Pentacles reversed earlier. And even looking at the card, I mean, we have someone who is they look like a park ranger showing the other 2 people the cave. So we have like another kind of like a teaching type of role here. Like, here, I'll show you how this formed with like these stalactites and stalagmites. Mentorship 2, reliability, like a reliable guide. You know, pile 2, I almost wonder if you should teach people something regarding these things that you're passionate about. I think you should, and not necessarily like having to be like a specifically like a teacher or like a professor. I mean, if you already are, that's great too. Fantastic. But there's something about you, and it has to do with your lifestyle, that would be really beneficial for you to show other people and guide them about. It's your lifestyle and the way you follow your heart. Okay, especially where, oh, that's where the 2 of Pentacles came in. It just clicked. Okay. That's why it took me a second. Sorry, pile 2. I was like hesitating. I was like, oh, Spirit, wait a minute. Clarify, please. They're saying it's showing people to live a more balanced life because of the way that they, like if they follow their heart. Okay. That's what they're saying. You should shine out more. Okay. It's like showing people that going off the beaten path doesn't necessarily mean that you have to live a tumultuous, chaotic life. That going off the beaten path can actually be more secure and stable than being on going the expected way through life, okay? So wherever you can, inspire other people to follow their heart the way that you do. All right? That's another aspect really coming through prominently. Oh, yes, and then, yeah, that's another thing, the emotional fulfillment of the 9 of Cups reversed earlier we saw here with the paddle borders. Helping inspire other people to live more fulfilling lives. That's what it is. Okay, now everything's coming together. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, so, I mean, if there's anything you take away from this reading, pile 2, please lean in more about showing people your lifestyle in ways that would help them achieve more emotional fulfillment and more balance, okay, and more reliability in their life. More stability, maybe that's a better word to use. Okay, that's why the Knight of Pentacles came out. Beautiful. And then 2, with the founder and community, it's like building a community of who you are rather than where you are physically. I wonder if maybe some of you have kind of struggled where like you always felt like you didn't fit in with where you were born. Of course, I know some of you might have already moved away from where you were born, and some of you might still be, you know, in like say your hometown that you were born in. And so maybe that's part of that feeling of rejection was like, oh, I feel like I don't fit in here where I, you know, it's like that, like being planted in the wrong place, like we used in the very beginning with the desert plant, like a cactus versus like a rainforest plant, you know. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're inherently inferior. It's just that you don't shine maybe where that place was. So it's like finding a different community or building your own community. And I think that's part of where this all begins, is showing other people the way that you live or your ideas when it comes to following their heart and emotional fulfillment, okay? Beautiful. Wonderful spread today, pile number 2. So that is what I will leave you with. That's what Spirit said they want you to shine out more into the world, to share more of yourself with. So I hope you liked it. I hope that it helped you. I hope that the reading resonated, of course, most of all. And if so, please like the video itself. Please comment your story down below. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That's just a tiny little button click away for you, just half a second, which helps me immeasurably with providing more free readings for both you and others in the future, number 1. And number 2, keeping the dream of this channel alive with providing spiritual healing to people. Okay. And then as I always say with our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Keep following your heart. You're always on the right path when you do so. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 2. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about what part of yourself you should let shine more. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the very beautiful card of Bramble for your pile leader today. Now, as I was looking at these pile leaders before even hitting record, I like to meditate on the pile leaders just a little bit to see what comes through intuitively. What came through for you today is a really prominent theme of being tough. Okay, I think I almost get like kind of the feeling of warrior energy off of you. Not so much in an aggressive way, but more in a way of protectiveness. So yes, toughness, protectiveness, Also, as an extension of that, a feeling of someone that is very good about being adaptable and going with the flow. Someone that's very resourceful and flexible, okay, in terms of dealing with things that are thrown at them in life, curveballs, things like that. So, what I mean when I bring that up at the beginning of a reading where we're talking about what you should shine out about yourself more, Spirit basically is saying that I almost feel, and I think Spirit feels too, that you don't toot your own horn enough about these things. There's something about your toughness and your protectiveness that they want you to push out there even more. Now, I think you might already kind of know, like, you know, whether or not you are protective of other people. I think you probably already understand that, pile number 3, but at the same time, it's like, if you leaned into that even more, it would bring about more fulfillment in at least one of your life purposes. Okay. I don't know if some of you do charity work, or if you would be really drawn to charity work, especially when it comes to protection, like building homes. I don't know if some of you have ever worked on building homes before. Like, I know, I think Habitat for Humanity is one it's coming to mind right now. But if you haven't already, I think something to do with that line of work or charity work would be really a good way to shine that part of yourself out more. Yeah, it's like protecting those who can't protect themselves. That's another thing that's popping out here too. That, or maybe some of you work or have been drawn to helping, you know, like underserved communities, or people that are like homeless, or people that are struggling with bad situations or bad habits or addictions, things like that. So some of you might actually be nurses that help with those things, or you might be like social workers, things like that. Or if you don't already do that, pile number 3, that is a type of career that would be a really good place for you to exude more of these qualities, to shine out more, as we say, with the topic title of the reading. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, there's just something about you that's very protective. I almost wonder if some of you, maybe earlier on in life, you dealt with situations where you were not protected. And so it kind of inspired, in a way, a very high protectiveness of others within yourself. Like, I'm going to protect others the way that I was not defended, is what I'm hearing for at least some of you. And so, yeah, if you don't already lean into that, pile 3, or even if you already do, lean into it more. They're saying that's really prominent with your life purpose. That's something you should definitely shine out more. Okay. And then to start at least the other cards in the reading, I'm actually going to do the Oracle cards first. We're going to be a bit of a switcheroo here. Usually I do tarot first, but let's look at your archetypes to see what else they want you to shine out. Okay, Spirit, anything else? What archetype would you give them if they were at their most prominent of what you would think they should be? Let's grab that one. Okay, what did we get? We got the Guide. Okay, look at that. Literally a lantern bearer with an owl. Light attribute represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Shadow attribute places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. Okay, so pile number 3. You are meant to be a guide. Okay, you, Spirit is saying you should shine yourself more. I mean, funny with the pun of the lantern, right? In terms of helping other people find their way. Being a light in the darkness. Speaking of our marathon's theme, light, right? You are supposed to, and maybe you already do this, but even more so, you're someone who provides stability in the storm to others. You're someone who is meant to be a North Star for them to follow. And sometimes that can manifest within the way that you just live your own life. Sometimes you're just literally an example that inspires other people. But I think for some of you, it's even as much as like a calling of something that you are really drawn to do. Okay, so whatever you do, even no matter what your career is, pile number 3, okay, no matter what job you do, there's something that Spirit wants you to lean into even more when it comes to helping others find direction. Okay. And then two, of course, with the owl symbolism, when we think of owls, we think of wisdom, right? Number one. We also think of Athena. She was the goddess of, well, many things, but prominently I always think of like tactics in war, logic in war, okay? Being tactful about things. And so I think you're also really good at speaking, or you should lean into that more if you haven't already. You almost kind of give me like Athena vibes. Like protective, because she was a deity of war, right? But she's also a deity of logic, of thinking things through, of figuring out exactly how to tackle something, okay? So you're protective in that subtle way, I feel like, pile number 3. You're protective in the way, or at least you should, like I said, shine that out more in subtler, defensive ways, okay? Beautiful. I love that picture too. Love the expression on her face. Very, very stern, but in a protective way. She's a guide, right? So let's look at your other Oracle deck for today. We have the Citadel Oracle. We'll draw a few cards from that. Spirit, anything else you want them to shine more with? All right, well, this one is like, pick me. We have the Walker with the unknown and a journey with the element of earth. Okay, lots of kind of earthy vibes too. I almost wonder if you are an earth sign, pile number 3, or you have a lot of earth element in your astrological chart, different earth signs within your chart, I should say. Let's grab the second card, and then I'll talk about that a bit more. We have, let's see, this one is kind of standing out to me. We've got, oh, interesting, one of the other piles had this one today. You have earth and you have air. We have the astronomer as well. Discovery and augury. So remember I was saying like being a North Star to other people, guiding them, okay? That comes out once again as a synchronicity with the astronomer card. Makes me think of someone who's like, oh, here's how you find this thing. Here's how you do this, right? You're a teaching type of soul, I get the feeling, or that's what they want you to lean into more. And interestingly, yeah, we have the Walker too. Let's look at those for just a moment, pile 3. And especially too, and this is what I said to the other pile that had astronomer today, what really stands out to me about when I have people that get the astronomer card is really what it says to me is that they're the type of person that likes to explore the unknown. They're someone that likes to look around and ask questions, or look, well, up, I guess, with astronomy. They like to look up and ask questions, not just in the material way, oh, what's that star's name? Oh, that's Polaris, right, etc. But also in spiritual ways. So I think you kind of remind me, I think it was pile 1 that had this card too, you kind of remind me of them, where you're also someone that's really good about, and I think officially we don't really use this dichotomy anymore, but when we talk about people that are left-brained versus right-brained, I think you have a really good balance of both. And that's part of what Spirit wants you to shine out more, is more about who you are in terms of the skills that you have both in a left-brained and a right-brained way. Okay, so left-brain, we talk about things that are more logical, science, mathematical ability, analytical ability, and then we talk about the right brain more in terms of creativity, right? Art that you might do, writing that you might do, things that are less tangible and more on the less definable side of life. Okay, I think you're really good about walking both of those paths, and I think that's why you're such a good guide, or you would be if you don't already do that, pile 3, is because you're really good about crossing the bridge between different types and ways of thinking and helping people understand the other side, or like the parts of life that they don't quite, I don't want to say it's like they don't fathom. It's not like you completely understand everything and like other people don't. Not in that way, but it's more like you're really good about understanding life from different perspectives, and I think that's why you're a good guide type character, and also why you're protective, because I think you're really good about seeing the humanity in people, no matter what side of an argument they might be on, or like what path they might be on. I think that's why maybe some of you are drawn to maybe helping like with charitable causes like the homeless or, you know, people with addictions, things like that, because you see the humanity in everybody. And that's what Spirit wants like you to shine out even more, is like, because those are rare. People like you are very rare, pile 3. We don't have a lot of people that care. Okay, which is really sad to say, but you know, we all know it, right? You know, if we had more people that cared, we'd have a lot less people with addictions and less people that are homeless and, you know, et cetera, other falling on hard times like that. But, and that's why it's so important. Spirit is like, we need more of you. We need more of you just shining out, more people like you, but, you know, you specifically as well. And then too with Walker, it's like you guide people through the unknown, just like that woman holding the lantern. You guide them on this journey, or you're meant to show them the way towards the light. Okay, that's another thing, is they want you to shine more in terms of showing people towards the light of life, okay? Towards better paths, towards away from shadows and dark things that hold them down, towards things that free them and make them see light again after maybe having been walking in shadow, I mean, potentially their whole life, right? That's another way that you really could shine, okay? What a beautiful reading. I think, don't tell the other piles this, but I think you're my favorite pile today. Don't tell them I said that, but this is just really cool though, pile 3. Rare type of person. Very rare. Not common. I also get the feeling that you're quite an old soul. And by old soul, I mean that in terms of the spiritual term, as in you've lived quite a few lives here on Earth. I think that's also why you're another really good guide, Spirit is saying, is because you've been through this merry-go-round so many times that people just, I think they like intuitively just flock to you. They're like, oh, that person knows what they're talking about. Even if they don't understand it on a conscious level, pile 3, they understood it on a subconscious spiritual soul level. They're like, oh, pile 3, like they know. I don't know, you scream old soul to me. I think people, and I think that's why you're protective too. Maybe because you've lived so many different lives here on Earth, at least in my beliefs with reincarnation, that by having lived so many lives here on Earth, you've probably been many of the people that you've helped, at least in some way in terms of like in their situation, okay? I think that's where your empathetic ability comes in too. Beautiful. Okay, let's look at your tarot spread here. We're going to split into 3. Apologize, some of these I'm drawing off screen down here just because of the limited space, but we'll split that 2 more times. So 1 and 2, and then we'll draw your tarot cards. Okay, so first up we have the 7 of Swords reversed, revealing deception or trickery. You do not suffer fools gladly. You do not, you're really good about reading people, I feel like, pile number 3, okay? You're awesome at seeing people for who they are. No wonder why you're an old soul, or vice versa. No wonder why you're able to do that, because you're an old soul. You have seen every trick in the book, and you understand what people are doing right when they're doing it. Shine that out more, okay? We need more people that reveal deceptions. We have too many people that fall for deceptions and not enough people that reveal deceptions, okay? So shine that out more. Don't be afraid to suss people out, okay? We also have beautiful strength. You, once again, protective. Look at that. It's a mother mountain lion with her cub. I think that's a mountain lion. Sure looks like it. I think that's a mountain lion, I'm pretty sure. I should know, they're in the area that I live in, so I've actually never seen one in person, but very beautiful creatures. Like a protective mother over her baby. Strength. And strength, too, isn't just about literal strength, it's about willpower type of strength. And once again, I hate to repeat myself, but that's just more of that protective energy I talked about with your Bramble card, pile 3. I think also you might be helpful to people that had a sort of a lack of positive mother energy in their life. Like, I don't know if maybe people tend to flock to you that are people that have had struggles with their mothers, or like they didn't grow up with a very nice mother. You're almost kind of like a replacement mom in a way, I feel like, or that's one way you could shine, is like, I mean, of course, not like physically replace a mom, but at the same time, it's like maybe you already are a mother, pile 3, in which case, but like not just for like your kids, if you are a mother, but like in a way that you, just other people, you give like motherly energy. Like, here, like, come to me and I'll comfort you in your time of need. Like, that's kind of what I'm feeling from you. Beautiful energy, pile 3. All right, and then we have the Emperor. Although we have motherly, look, we just got the fatherhood card. Okay. Motherly, but also really good balance of masculine energy, pile 3. The Emperor is, yes, like I said, the masculine energy card. It's the card of power and authority and control in positive ways. It's also the card of protectiveness. So we have that once again very prominently coming out. So please, 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 if you don't already, shine out how protective you are of other people more. I feel like that's a really prominent life purpose of yours because of so many of these cards popping out, pile 3. So yeah, like, because, yeah, not only, like, you're motherly, but you're also, in a way, fatherly. I wonder if you've had to parent a lot of people that just didn't really have reliable parents themselves. Like, you're, like, almost surrogate friend parent. I don't know if you've had to parent a lot of your friends before, too. But part of that is your life purpose that Spirit wants you to shine out, okay? Definitely an old soul. And then we have, the Tower. Interesting. So the Tower is often about disaster or, like, times of pivotal change, which I'm sorry I'm repeating myself so much, pile 3, but there's so many synchronicities coming out with similar messages, because what I'm hearing with the Tower is, once again, you help people when they've had disaster in their life. Like I said, like, say they've had, like, addictions, or, like, they've been homeless, right? Or other things like that. Like, when other people have had disasters and they have no one else to turn to, you're the type of person that is the parent that holds their hand. Okay? You're the person that's the shelter in the storm, like I was saying earlier, okay? Or you should be more, if you haven't already. But I get the feeling a lot of you already are like this. And then we've got the Star reversed. Look at all these major arcana, too. You have 4 of them. You've got Strength, the Emperor, and the Tower, and the Star. So not only a pile 3, I know this isn't technically, like, a past life or, like, a life purpose reading. This is more about, like, your current life. But I get the feeling, because of that old soul stuff we talked about earlier, that this is quite a pivotal life for you in terms of culminating a lot of the lessons that you've learned, okay? Especially because you have so many major arcana. There's so many of them. You have all 4 except the 7 of Swords in the beginning, right? And what I see when I see a lot of major arcana in a spread for somebody is it's that they're at a very pivotal time in their path, in their soul's development, is how I would say it, okay? I mean, you're doing really well, though. I think you're doing really well already, so congrats on that, pile 3. But if you were to lean into it more, this is where they're saying to, yeah. And then with the Star reversed, it's repeating, but that's about inspiring more hope or faith in other people, okay? The Star reversed is people that have lost their hope or their faith in things. Remember I talked about being a guiding star, and then I mentioned Polaris? I mean, look what constellation just popped out here. We have the Little Dipper, and the Polaris is the very end of the tail. So, I don't know, a lot of synchronicity with that too. Of course, we have the Big Dipper as well. But the Little Dipper is where the Polaris is at the end of the tail, right? At the end of Ursa Minor, technically. And so, yeah, it's like you inspire, you're the guiding light, you're the guiding star. You help people find their way when they've lost it, just like the guide card. You're that light in the dark we were talked about earlier, okay? Or you should be if you're not already. That's what they're saying that you should lean into more. So if there's anything you take away from this reading, pile 3, like if I had to summarize it in like 3 different main points, what I would say is guide people through dark times more. That's one way you could shine more. Lean into your protectiveness more, especially when it comes to kind of like parent type energy, either motherly or fatherly or both. And then, let's see, what was the other one? Oh, yes. When people are at their lowest, help inspire hope and faith in them again. That life can get better, and it will. Okay, so like there were like 3 main directives from Spirit today. That's exactly what I think Spirit would say to you through the cards that have come out prominently. So, awesome. Beautiful spread. Beautiful energy, pile 3. Thank you for letting me read your energy. This is cool. Like I said, don't tell the other ones. You're my favorite pile today. You're awesome. Okay, so that is your reading for it today. I hope you liked it. I hope that it resonated. And of course, most of all, I hope that it helped you with your journey in life and deciding, you know, what more of yourself you'd like to maybe focus on or shine out more, as the title says. If you did like the video, please like it, literally. Click the like button. Please comment down below your story. I love to hear your comments, everything that resonates, things like that, as well as everything that, you know, I think too, I always say with comments that, you know, even not just even for me as the tarot reader or the channel, you know, the YouTuber, I guess is the term we want to use, but for other people that share your pile, like even talking to each other through the comments and saying, oh, I was pile 3 too, can help build like a community between you two. Like, sometimes even just mentioning your own story can help other people in ways that you don't expect, because they'll see resonance in your story with theirs, and vice versa if you read other people's comments. So yes, please comment, and then please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. As I always say, that's just a tiny button click away for you, which helps me immeasurably with keeping the dream of the channel alive, of providing spiritual healing for people, as well as providing more free readings for both you and others in the future. And as I always say with our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Keep being you. You're doing great, pile 3. And I hope to see you in the next reading.